Hey, my good people, all the queers and dear queers and queer dears, everybody out there. Um, Hello. And we still say fuck ICE, fuck CBP, and fuck any administration that would put militarized troops on the necks of people. If you're still coming around, thank you so much. I am still trying to make my way back. I enjoyed making videos pre-pandemic, and I got out of the habit because of many things. And back in the habit, I never stopped being queer. It never stopped being possible. It just occasionally became highly improbable. Still breathing. We can still do stuff. I should just tell you what the fuck I did. So, first off, if you're still on Facebook, isn't that a shit show, right? I came up on Facebook in the is it the aughts? I started Facebook. I started using Facebook, I should say. I think in the aughts and all through, you know, the teens and into the 20s of this century, and I had to stop because for a bit there, like, there was just so much egregious bullshit on social media, and I had to get away from it because I just couldn't process that level of bullshit. And good news, it's not necessary. Like, you don't have to process that level of bullshit to survive this world. But so I stepped back from social media because I got my feelings hurt, and and plus it was just like way too much. And then about 6 or so months ago, I can't remember exactly, not too long ago, I tiptoed back into Facebook. I had completely lost my original profile that I had had for almost 2 decades, and the one that had all of my, experiences from, well, 2009 to 2024 anyway, which I suppose if I want to know, any of the highlights from that, I can just ask the FBI to release my file. But Facebook, okay, so I tiptoed back onto Facebook, and I grabbed a few of my friends back that I had missed for quite some time because I had to get away from social media. And then I got on Facebook, and so here's when I noticed this most recent time I was on Facebook. The propaganda. It was so much. And I think I made a slopaganda video where I just talked about this level of slop and propaganda mixed together. It's so disrespectful to my humanity. So I decided to, like, try to handle it differently this time. Yes, take seriously my friendships, but also, like, I cannot take this seriously. This Facebook cannot be taken seriously. I thought, okay, let me experiment some kinds of ways, like with Facebook. So one experiment, I tried the spam comment, and I got timed out a few times. Spam comments, just counter narrative to the bullshit out there, and I also quickly got shut down a few times. And I was like, okay, so spam comments are kind of a thing, which is like an unpaid bot for the left, whatever. I did that, and then I even wrote some shit poetry, like intentionally shit poetry. Put some intentionally shit poetry out there, and that actually kind of took off in a couple of places because sometimes the best response is just shit back. So I did a little of that, and I was like, okay, this is cool, whatever. And then another thing. So these are some things that I did on Facebook. And then the other thing is, like, the government websites are doing propaganda like I cannot verbally describe easily. The white nationalist propaganda coming off of government websites on Facebook was so much. And, like, if I'm in that place where that level of propaganda is happening, I cannot not poke the bear. I cannot not jab the dead animal on the road. Like, y'all are putting shit on the net, and just white nationalist shit, just ugh, Nazi shit, like old Nazi shit. old Manifest Destiny shit, rehashing, rewriting a lot of history, which is badass propaganda. And so, like, I was recognizing that they're just flooding the zone. Most of it's bullshit, does not need to be addressed on a factual level because this is not sincere communication. So instead of, like, fact checking the propaganda, I was just like, let me sling some shit back. So when I saw things on Facebook, on government websites, that were just clearly bullshit manufactured propaganda, white nationalist shit, I would just get on their page and just go berserko with Trumpstein, 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 all caps, capital letters with exclamation points, completely moving past the propaganda that they're offering me and just slopping that shit back at them. Now, here's what I need you to know. When QAnon came up with this Trumpstein stuff, I was like, I no doubt believe there are rich people who are powerful who get up to no good. Like, I was like, not doubting that. Wow. So, right? Of course, these Caligula types, right? Like, and QAnon being right about that makes them half as good as a broken clock. All right, broken clocks, analog can be right twice a day. All right, you were right once, so you're half as good as a broken clock. But they called it, man. They called it. And they didn't maybe expect it to be such a bipartisan catastrophe. But wow, what a bipartisan catastrophe those Epstein files are. So for me, I'm just like, fuck you. Trumpstein, Trumpstein, Trumpstein. The Trumpstein class, this, that, the other. And I just went, bitched out every government website I could on Facebook with bad poetry about Erica Kirk, bad poetry about Charlie Kirk, bad poetry about Nick, the one that made those fake ass, Nick Shirley. And then Trumpstein, 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 Trumpstein. And I just pummeled it. And then I started noticing, like, where I would get blocked. And at any rate, finally I got a message from Facebook saying they doubt my humanity. How fucking rich. So Facebook said I will not be allowed back on unless and until I provide a nice facial video so that they can confirm my identity as a real human being. I think that I was behaving as if I were a bot is what their concern was. Now, here's my concern. I'm not giving you shit because I am understanding, although I do not have factual knowledge or direct links, I'm understanding that social media is being monitored for egregious acts such as mine that point out the lifestyles of the Epstein class as absolutely moronic shit. Okay? So Facebook flagged me, and they sent me a link, and they said, give us a full digitized video of your face from this angle, this angle, this angle. We'll let you know if it's good enough. We promise we'll only save your video for 30 days. I'm like, bitch, I'm not giving you nothing. You will get nothing through me. Like, I can totally see it. I give you my facial video. You send this shit off to whoever is keeping track of all the Antifas. And next thing you know, I got some motherfuckers on my door. Anyway, if you're still on Facebook, I challenge you. I challenge you, especially if you've been thinking about getting off Facebook and if you feel safe enough to do it. White-skinned people, light-skinned people, melanin deficient people. I think this is a little thing you might want to try if you think about it. Get on those government Facebook websites and check the room. Check the room because there are paid bots. Ignore them. Those paid bots are saying stupid shit. Ignore them. But also, there's the government, and the government is saying shit. And I wouldn't bother countering them too much factually on Facebook because that's not what Facebook is. Facebook is not that. But Facebook is absolutely saturating the zone with crap. And, throw some Trumpstein back at it. Just don't worry about having a nice synthesized argument because they give zero fucks. You can make that nice synthesized argument and it benefits you. Having some pushback, though, benefits the other people who are out there looking at this shit going, holy moly, is this really my government? Yeah, it is. It's your government. Okay, so right now, today, I'm thinking about two things where I personally see the need and space in my life where I think I can take some action. So I was liberally educated after being not educated, and starting up in life not educated, and then getting liberally educated, and then getting justice educated. I think what happens is as I continue to learn more, I see more. And, I am still a strong ass believer of public education. I think it's a dangerous place for queers right now. I think it's a dangerous place for Black and Indigenous people right now, especially with our tendency to use education to advance genocides, just being real. But I think if we can be honest about the destruction and harm that has happened in education and avoid repeating those harms, I think personally, I believe that we can actually do a lot of good with public education, and so I still believe in public education, though I'm not practicing it. So in that vein, I'll be looking at doing a little more work with banned books, and it remains to be seen what that is actually going to look like. But like right now, I'm looking at that landscape thinking, as a former educator, someplace that I can do some radical support is maybe in the area of banned books. And, because frankly, I think we need those books. We need that education. Not every book is needed by everybody, but we need everybody and their books to do what we need to do. So I'm really, really stoked about doing some banned book work. And I have some personal stories as an educator about why I would want to work on banned books. All right, now the other thing. And I'm having a hard time with it, but not having a hard time with it. Like, I guess I'm coming to more understanding every day about it. In my liberal education, the topic of concentration camps was squarely set in the 20th century as a 20th century phenomenon that we would not carry into the 21st century. Because I taught the first few years of the 21st century, and in that time, I did teach about the concentration camps and death camps, even as a science teacher, because if you don't know how science was bastardized to justify those death camps and concentration camps, I can give you lessons on that if you like. But here's the deal. In my liberal education mind, like, that shit was 20th century shit. And yeah, we had these prisons, and yeah, the 13th Amendment still allows slavery. Those are prisons, right? So, in my mind, there was a difference between a prison and a concentration camp and a death camp. And I think any expert will tell you there are differences. But my concern is bodily autonomy. And so, all of them have problems. All of them. But here's the thing. And this is where I think we need to thank the Trumpstein class for their level of cruelty to just wipe away any fucking pretense. Concentration camps are back, and definitionally are being named as concentration camps in the United States by historians, not by liberal leftists, me, but by actual historians. They're saying these are concentration camps, and they're showing a little bit of what's up, which definitely falls into, yeah, these are concentration camps, like fucking concentration camps. And are they death camps? Like, some people are like, are they concentration camps, death camps? Here's what I will say to the people who are wondering about that. They're death camps to they who have died, wouldn't you say? But let's agree, concentration camps. So, like, these camps cannot stay. These camps cannot stay. And it's not just about not letting camps stay because we are welcoming the stranger. And it's not just these camps can't stay because we are pro-migration, pro-immigration, pro-people. Fuck. Oh, baby kitty. These concentration camps cannot stay because they're just fucking dangerous to all of us. Can we just agree? Up with books, down with camps. That's simple. Up with books, down with camps. That's doable, man. That's doable. That's a fucking North Star level doable. Up with books, down with camps. Little topic shift. So we've been in this new way of living, my family and I, for a couple of years now. And now for a little over a year in Trumpstein 2.0. Okay, let me say this in a little bit of a nuanced way. The fear I feel when I think my existence is threatened the last couple of years, I think I can trace to 3 frightening vulnerabilities for my family and myself. Okay, so there is this first obvious governmental threat. All my life, I have been countercultural, so to speak. And, my first march was a pride march when I was 16. And so to society, like, I'm always on that side of society. But it was last September that the government made their little directive about, I'll put it in the little down here, so their edict that I'm leftist scum and so are you. Anyway, so I do feel real danger when I travel, that if I get pulled over by the police because of driving in some kind of way, because with this skin tone, I'm not getting pulled over often. With this age, I'm not getting pulled over often. But I do fear getting pulled over by the police, in that if my name's not on a list somewhere by now, I would be very surprised. Anybody who's been an activist in the last 20 years, your name is already on a list somewhere. And you should avoid being pulled over by the police, because when they get their shit together, which is going to happen accidentally, inevitably, once they get their shit together and have their interdepartmental communications ironed out, it won't be anything for the local police to be like, oh, this is one of them leftist terrorists, we got to bring it in. There's a bed in a camp somewhere for this person. So I have felt the threat of the government could and may, dislike what I say and do and detain me. Okay. That one there right now is not a high priority threat, but it should always be in the back of my mind, because these are dangerous times and the government is not safe, period. Okay. The second place where I have felt vulnerabilities, there are occasional interpersonal threats in the community where I'm pretty sure, due to other people's reading of my identity and or gender expression and or politics and or general lack of deference toward white dudes, there are times that have been unsafe with the general public. Like there are people in the general public who will do the do of our government. I'm talking KKK types, guys. I'm just talking about, the government is not necessarily going to get me, or they might. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. But the government has set the ball rolling that for any of us in targeted groups, the usual hammers are coming after us. Maybe these are MAGA threats. I don't know. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that simple anymore. I just think so many people are threatened that we're looking at each other with a level of suspicion frequently. And so occasionally I have felt, a couple of times I have felt under personal threat from another individual in the community who I felt, based on their behavior, I felt they were enacting their wider political goals interpersonally with me, and that was a threat. But I'm going to tell you what, those two things, they do not compare with the fucking terror that I have felt several times in the last 2 years. Oh, and even before. Y'all, the weather is fucking wild and harsh, and our systems are not helping us anymore like they were. The times that I've been most afraid in the last 2 years, I've been really afraid a couple of times when I was worried if the heat would go out. There's only so many redundancies we have for heat, and so I'm like, oh my god, if the heat goes out, we're fucking toast. And thank God it hasn't yet. A couple of times where I was just really fucking terrified. We live in a very lightweight home on purpose because we need to be fleet of foot. But when a good storm comes along, sometimes our home rocks hard. And I'm reminded of all the stories growing up in the trailer park about, tornadoes. But, now it's not even just tornadoes. The fucking straight line winds are harsh, man. And I don't know if you saw that bomb cyclone, I think they're calling it. They say nor'easter, bomb cyclone. I've been familiarizing myself with certain weather patterns, let me tell you. Now, I love radar. I study radar. I looked at that bomb cyclone / nor'easter beast on the radar, and I'm like, well, if that ain't a fucking frozen hurricane, I don't know what the fuck it is. Now, since the scientists have kind of clarified that for me, and now I get, okay, I see why you're not calling it a hurricane, but you and I both see that it had an eye, a distinct fucking eye. Like, y'all, those are the storms that they tried to simulate in The Day After Tomorrow, like the swirling fucking freezing bomb cyclone, whatever, oh my god. Many of us are very vulnerable to the weather extremes, and if I'm honest, it's the weather extremes that have put the fear of survival in me a few times. And and I had these same fears when I lived in a brick house, but in those situations I worried about the walls of the brick house coming down on me. And to this point, we lived in a brick house in a beautiful neighborhood. All of our earlier videos are at that beautiful house in that beautiful neighborhood. that I wish I hadn't left in many, many ways. But because of many reasons, we had to. Very complicated, but ultimately a good choice. That gorgeous house that we lived at with the brick walls, it would shake too. And I knew that if the right storm came through, those walls would come down. And guess what? Guess what fucking happened? Just last May, a fucking tornado ripped through the old neighborhood, missed our old house, hit houses right nearby, and that neighborhood is still devastated from that tornado. Okay. We were not in that house at that time. We had departed and have since then been in a camper in straight line winds. And I'm like, okay, we chose this to be fleet of foot. And I'm like, walls of bricks coming down, rip a styrofoam aluminum composite camper, straight line winds. Like, y'all, the weather extremes, which are a result of climate change. You know, I can point you to the experts that'll help you know that stuff if you need it. They are a real problem for all of us. Some of y'all, your insurance is going out the roof. Some of y'all can't even get insured, okay? The business world has already taken climate science into consideration. Those fucking Trumpstein class motherfuckers, they got bunkers. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Caligula types don't share bunkers with us. Okay? We are vulnerable. And that is true regardless of who wins this next election. Okay? Even if this next election goes swimmingly for whoever you are and whatever vision of freedom you got, we still have a serious problem. Okay, militarized law enforcement, stochastic violence incited by our government, the wrath of Mother Nature. These things are the things that have actually presented literal threats to my family's well-being in the last 6, 9 months, 2 years. How to work through this in your particular context. It feels like a punch in the gut every time I realize the government is not saving us or helping us, in quite the opposite. It's hell-bent on our destruction at this point if we don't agree with it. And, agreeing with it is a type of death. So I will choose this option, which is a type of living in opposition, I guess. The thing I really am enjoying right now, and you can see it on YouTube and Substack, is that there is no shortage of ideas. And what I'm thinking is that even if some of my ideas are shit, now is a great time for all of us to be sharing our ideas, sharing our art, sharing our disposition, opposition, sharing what we got. Like, we got a lot, and it's really beautiful. Like, we got art, we got culture, and, does the government have art and culture? No, the government has propaganda. The government wants to claim it's creating some of these things, but it is not. It's propaganda. If you're not feeling well, may I suggest a little art? Okay, I'm going to try to put a little playlist of nice art that has recently come across and made my life better. What makes me feel good and what makes you feel good might not be the same thing. I am actually really trying to feel the feelings and feel the vulnerabilities and feel as much as I can. thank you again if you've taken the time to listen to any of this, and if it benefits you, wonderful. What I would love, if there's any way, is that if I continue to put out videos, and if any of them rise to the level of content that perhaps benefits you, or if not benefits you, comforts you, or if not comforts you, at least lets you know, no, it's not your fucking imagination. Caligula is wackadoodle, and, we're all just lucky if we got bread at this point. Feel free to help begin a conversation, and if enough of us are talking, and if enough of us are putting out in the internet, our version of opposition, our version of what we would like to see instead, giving each other ideas. Like, as fucked up as social media is, I still see our social media availability and other print media availabilities as super duper important to this time, because what is happening is the government is actively attempting to squelch forms of thought and forms of peoplehood. I grew up in the Cold War, so I kind of feel like I was told from jump, you better think. And that might not be your jam, but maybe it gives you some hope, maybe it gives you some support. And people are scared, and they're right to be. A lot of shit going to the cutting floor out of this one. But thank you for listening.